I did read the transcript. It remains troubling in the extreme. It's deeply troubling.
Real troubling things here. Republicans ought not just circle the wagons, and Democrats ought not have been using words like impeachment before they knew anything about the actual substance. The administration ought not be attacking the whistleblower, as some talking points suggest they plan to do.
You know, Ben Sasse went on and called it. I think he was right in everything he said. What the whistleblower, what the White House shouldn't do, what the media shouldn't do, what Democrats and Republicans shouldn't do, shouldn't leap to conclusions. I was talked about watching another network a few nights ago, right after this broke, and people were sitting there going, "So how's the vote going to go in the Senate for impeachment?" They had not even launched an inquiry yet.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to take a deep breath, slow down. We all can be very concerned by what we're seeing. It's very troubling, but let's just let the process play out.
But we're seeing what the White House has released, and the reaction that we're seeing is shock to what has been released by the White House. It's not like we're trying to infer what they...
for good reason.
An admission.
But, you know, I've also heard people saying, we must act now, we must strike while the... No. Get the facts. Analyze the facts. And make your decision based upon the facts. Everybody needs to slow down. Which is basically what Mitt Romney said yesterday. Romney taking the lead, saying he was very troubled by this, but said, and they said, well, what are you going to do? He said, well, there's a process playing out in the House. There's a whistleblower process playing out in the Senate. Let's let those processes play out, right?
Yesterday was revealing. I spent the whole day at the Capitol in the basement by the Senate trains where the senators come from their offices over to the Capitol. And Mitt Romney, the new senator from Utah, veteran Republican, he's one of the only people early in the day before the Senate lunch who actually comes out publicly and says this memo is extremely troubling and he's watching the House carefully. But I pulled aside some Republican senators for some background conversations, and they were aghast at the White House early in the day. They said, what is the White House's strategy? There's no real communication with us about where this is going to play out, where the vulnerabilities are. But they still wanted to be publicly with the president. He has so much political capital in the party. It was only after the Senate lunches, later in the day, after they had talked more amongst themselves, that you saw some cracks begin to emerge. You saw Senator Sasse stand out there. So now you have Sasse.
Talk about how you said yesterday that was a real tell, because Sasse is a primary opponent. He's taken a lot of criticism from, well, us and others. Us being Mika and me, not you, Bob. Taking criticism for being quiet when many believe that this guy who at least his supporters have portrayed as a conscience of the Republican Senate, he's remained silent. But yesterday, you said it was surprising because he decided to speak out. And you say that was
it was an important moment. Based on my reporting, that comment by Senator Sasse, his statement, it ricocheted around the Republican Party because he's a representative of what so many Republicans have become, captive to President Trump politically. They may have their own grievances about him, their complaints, but they keep it quiet. He has President Trump's endorsement for his re-election campaign. He is someone who knows he's in a red state. He needs President Trump's support. At the same time, for him to come out publicly, amid all of President Trump's popularity in the Republican Party, you see Senator Sasse giving some more room to his colleagues to speak out. Romney wasn't really enough for many of them, and you're going to have to see more for the cracks to become a yawning division. But Sasse pushed it even further down the field because Romney is seen as an outlier who has his own standing in the party. But Sasse is someone who really is part of the party of Trump. And a lot of his colleagues were telling me late last night he is significant more than Romney because he's up for re-election.
Yeah.
Wow. Coming up, at the center of the controversy over President Trump's dealings with Ukraine is the involvement of the president's personal lawyer. NBC has new reporting on Rudy Giuliani's role in this scandal.
You know, Rudy, they asked him about a phone call. He goes, well, I don't remember that, but I had Ukrainians calling me all the time.
Really? Okay. Well, that's all next on Morning Joe.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.